Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's time.
Hey, yo, what up? How's everybody doing today? We are now live. I hope all of you are doing well. This is another live edition of the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. And if you are new to the Around the Point Network YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video, stream, whatever you want to call it, a big old thumbs up. Share with all your friends all over social media or whatever it is that you share wrestling videos and stuff like that with all your friends, families, and stuff like that. Those who just love pro wrestling. It's me, as always. It is Steve. Let me get this picture out of here real quick. Yeah, there you go. You see me now, right? Do you see me? I hope you do. But let me know if you hear me in the chat. I want to make sure I get this right this time with the microphone. I want to make sure I get this right. But it is Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. It is the Raw Rundown. This is me talking about what happened last night on the December 8th edition of Monday Night Raw. And this was the go-home show to Saturday night's main event. This was the go-home show to, again, not just any ordinary Saturday night's main event. This was the go-home show to the Saturday night's main event that will be John Cena's last match. By the way, I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's been a week, right? A week has passed, and I don't know about you guys, but Epic is still missing. Epic was still missing. I felt like, you know what, Epic, Triple H said on Twitter that Epic was Raw was gonna be Epic last week, and Epic never showed up. So I'm like, okay, maybe Epic was a little shy, maybe Epic was a little nervous, right, of being there on Monday Night Raw. So maybe Epic will finally get out of its shell, right? Get out of its shell and decide to, you know what, let me make an appearance on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, which was last night. Maybe Epic that wanted to be, maybe just maybe, in Kansas City, Missouri at the T-Mobile Center. And funny enough, Epic was nowhere to be seen. Epic is still missing, folks. I don't know if you guys have seen Epic, if you found Epic, right? But when you do, let Epic know that Epic has been missing from Monday Night Raw. This is now the second week that Epic has been missing. So let me know when you find Epic, okay? Let a pal know. But yeah, overall Monday Night Raw, I'm gonna be honest, was an episode of, if you've seen it once, if you've seen them once, you've seen them so many times already. That's what Raw felt like. And again, this was a show coming out of last week with Braun Breaker delivering the promo of his life, right? Last week on CM Punk. Now, I know a lot of people were excited when Braun cut that promo last week. And I was too. I'm like, yo, he cut the promo of his life. And as cool as it is, the reality is this, right? CM Punk is going to respond. Make no mistake about it. CM Punk will make his response. And the big thing will be, it's going to be crazier, right? It's going to be cool to see how Braun Breaker responds to that. Because right now, yeah, he's cutting these, like last week, he cut this promo, right, on CM Punk, right, and all that stuff, and it was amazing, right? Everyone loved it. But the challenge will be once Punk responds and how Braun responds to Punk's response. if you get what I'm saying. That's what we need to look forward to when it comes to cutting a promo on CM Punk. So I look forward to seeing that when it happens. I thought Braun's promo from last night, outside of the he wants his wife line, um, was not as good as last week's, to be honest with you. I thought the show overall, like again, Epic was once again missing. Have you seen Epic? Let me know. I'm also gonna be previewing, I guess, while I'm at it, Saturday night's main event. I'm gonna be also be previewing that show here on this same stream, and then what I'm gonna do is split it into a video and put it out there. Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna do that near the end once I'm done talking about Raw. Just hang on tight, okay? Hang on there for a sec. But let me know in the chat what was your overall thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Maybe you thought Raw was good. Maybe you thought Raw was amazing, man, awesome, right? Can't wait for Saturday. And again, this is not an ordinary Saturday night's main event that we're getting on Saturday. Normally, these Saturday night's main events are are a house show. It's a house show that is on Peacock, but this time this is John Cena's retirement match that's happening on Saturday night at Washington, D.C. But for me, I just thought the show was meh, to be honest with you. But let me know in the chat your thoughts. On this show, also, we saw Gunther finally speaking, and you knew this was coming, right? He defeated LA Knight this past Friday on SmackDown. He is the winner of the last time is now tournament. He will face John Cena at Saturday night's main event in Cena's final match, right? So you wanted to see what the Ring General was gonna say, right? You're waiting for it, right? Also on the show, are we sort of seeing some sort of dissension in the Judgment Day, right? With Raquel Rodriguez basically putting herself in a position to challenge Stephanie McCur, and it kind of made Liv Morgan. I don't know how many of y'all caught this. It made her feel some kind of way. Made her is not what she was expecting, right? And also, we saw the reunion, even though they've been united for a while now, of the Usos back in the tag team division. So it seems. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. What did you like from Raw? What did you not like? And all that stuff. If you've not checked out Steve's Kitchen, go give it a watch. I give my thoughts on what's happening this Saturday on Cena's retirement match, even though we already know it's going to be Gunther. I gave my thoughts on that and some other stuff as well. So go give that a watch when you get a chance. All right. I can hear you. That is awesome. Great episode of Raw. I didn't feel like a chore to get. It didn't feel like a chore to get through. That's fine. I mean, for me, again, this is supposed to be a go home show. I want to be like, yo, Saturday, I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch Saturday night's main event. And look, regardless, you are because it is Cena's last match. But let's say for one moment, this Saturday was not Cena's last match. It's a normal Saturday night's main event. Did this show make you look forward to watch that show? For me, not really. I'm watching because regardless, it's Cena's last match. I got the shirt already that came in literally yesterday. So let's get into this. Let's get into it. Also, while I'm at it as well, near the end of this, I will be previewing Saturday night's main event. Okay. So the show opened up with Gunther. He put over John Cena. And again, remember, he is the one who is challenging Cena this Saturday. And he's out there. And I got to say, I think it's great that he finally got his old theme back, right? So he's out there and he's talking about how Cena is a great sports entertainer, right? Right. But that being Gunther, went on to say that he is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. However, that then Cena would face, obviously, again, he would face him. And he did say that what he's going to do he vows to break Cena's spirit and make him give up. I felt like his promo was short, sweet, to the point, right? To the point. I just wish there was a little more. And this is the thing with Cena not having these many dates available. I know when he did an interview, I know it's up on the WWE YouTube channel where he did say that, oh, I wanted 200 dates, right? But they only gave him 36. I felt like, yeah, the crowd was chanting for Cena, but Cena wasn't even there. And it was like, yo, guys, yeah, I knew he was not going to be there. So why are we chanting his name if you knew he's not going to be there? But outside of that, I just felt like I wanted more from this segment, from the promo, right? It was short to the point. That's the thing I will say, but I wish there was more to this. And I'll give more on that, my thoughts, as we get to the preview of Saturday night's main event. But again, he vows to break the spirit of John Cena and make him give up, which is the thing. Can he make him give up? And again, he already made Goldberg give up in his retirement match at Saturday night's main event. Can he do the same thing with John Cena? We'll see. From there, we go to Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. You had at ringside, you had Obafemi, who was spotted in the crowd during this match. Why was he not there on? Why are we having Obafemi, who has nothing to do with Monday Night Raw? And look, I get it. You have him sitting there in the front row. Oh, he's the NXT champion. He's challenging Cody Rhodes. Why is he not there on Friday? And again, as of this stream/video, it's Tuesday. There's a possibility, a big possibility, that Obafemi shows up on Friday Night SmackDown, sits in the front row during a Cody segment or something like that. They might do that. Or if not, who's to say? And again, I'm not sure if NXT tonight is pre-taped or is it live. I'm sure it's live. It's the post deadline show. I'm sure Cody Rhodes will show up tonight on NXT to talk to Obafemi. That's a possibility. That is a big possibility as well. But outside of that, look, Kairi Sane and Io Sky, whenever they go at it, they're going to deliver. Okay? But it's like, it goes back to what I said earlier. You've seen one of their matches, you've seen them all. Okay? It's like, how many times have they wrestled each other on the main roster? And it's like, okay, what else do you got? And yes, on the outside, you had Asuka, you had Rhea Ripley. There were distractions, but eventually, when it was all said and done, Io Sky did get the win with the moonsault. So there was that. And again, it's this whole like them. It's basically it's Rhea Ripley and Io Sky trying to go for the tag titles, such as Bayley and Lara Valkyria, obviously as well Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and so on and so forth. So that's what's happening as well. We also saw backstage, we saw Logan Paul backstage talking with the Vision, right? And Logan Paul is still feel like he's dealing with this Rey Mysterio problem. So he wants Paul Heyman to know, like, hey, look, I want to deal with Rey Mysterio by myself. I know you guys will have my back, and I will have your backs too, but I need to deal with this by myself. And Paul Heyman basically told him, like, hey, it's okay, man. It's fine. I like you more than I thought I ever would by you just saying that. And he hands him brass knuckles. But here's my issue with this, right? You had Braun Breaker in the background just being another guy after he cut this amazing promo last Monday, right? And it go back to what I'm saying. Look, it was a good promo, the promo of his career, but now you got to hear Punk respond. And what's going to carry this is how Braun responds to Punk's response, if that makes sense, right? But be that as it may, we get to the match, and Rey Mysterio was making his way to the ring, right? It was supposed to be it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio and Finn Balor, right? And what do you know? As Rey's making his way to the ring, Logan Paul, my guy, the Maverick, right? Understandably so, did not need the Vision to help him out. Did it on his own, and he lays out Rey Mysterio, right? And then there's a moment there, right, where Logan Paul has had the brass knucks. He's ready to punch Rey Mysterio, but Rey fights back. And then out of nowhere, the mysterious hooded man, right, showed up again. He showed up and he lays out Rey Mysterio with the super kick and the curb stomp. Now, as you guys recall, at Survivor Series, when this mysterious person showed up, people were under the speculation, and it was confirmed that it was Austin Theory. Now, the word going around the water cooler at WWE and in the IWC, that the person last night was not Austin Theory. It was somebody else. The word's going around that is Montez Ford. So what they're doing is basically having people rotate around and put on the costume until we find out who it is. And really, to be honest, I would hope they don't rush the reveal of the person. Maybe we find out who it is in 2026 when it's Braun and CM Punk for the world title, but time will tell. But again, Logan Paul attacking Rey Mysterio, and then the hooded guy showed up. Again, and after this, LA Knight then appeared, right? And he's mad because, it's bad enough that the Division sucked, but it's even worse now that Logan Paul is there. And again, Ray's a legend, and he's not going to take the disrespect. So he challenges Logan Paul for a match later on in the night, and it was official. It was the main event of Monday Night Raw. My guy, the Maverick, once again, closing Monday Night Raw. You love to see it, guys. You fucking love to see it. If you know, you know. And then after this, we see AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending their tag team titles against the War Raiders of Eric and Ivar. And at ringside in the front row was Javon Evans, NXT's Javon Evans, the winner of the Men's Iron Survivor. And I don't know how many of you guys aren't aware of this, but it will be AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against Javon Evans and Leon Slater. That is what's going down this Saturday at Saturday night's main event. It will go down. So there's that too. Overall, I think that will be probably the match of the night, if that makes sense. And to my understanding, they will be putting the title on the line. Oh, wow. They are defending the tag titles. Good for them. It should be a fun match. It should be a fun fucking match. Okay. But be that as it may, look, you also had the New Day at ringside sitting on commentary for this as well. The match as overall, it was fine. Okay. Nothing to really go insane about other than the fact that Dragon Lee failed 3 times to lift up, I think it was Ivar, on his shoulders. There's a moment there where you're like, oh my God, this guy is about to break his back. He's about to blow his knees, right? This guy is really not only possibly hurting himself, but also hurting Ivar. He went for it 3 times. I don't know why. Like, bruh, if you couldn't do it once, don't do it again, right? Do not do it again, because for real, there's a moment there where I was like, but when it was all said and done, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee did get the win to retain the tag titles. And then after this, the New Day confronted Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. But then they were interrupted by the Usos, who basically said, hey, we are back in the tag team division. AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, we are aware that you are not familiar with us, but the New Day are, even though it's not familiar with Kofi and Xavier and Grayson Waller, but obviously the original New Day, but nevertheless, it is the New Day, right? And I think it was Jimmy Uso who proceeded to call their rivalry Ali Frazier Rock Austin, the Uso versus the New Day, right? Now, that's up for debate. If you feel that's what it is, it's up to you, right? But I think honestly, look, putting Jey Uso back in the tag team division is fine. It's the right move. I feel like, look, we tried. They tried, not we, because obviously, I don't work for WWE, right? I don't work there, but they tried making this guy a single star, right? Putting the belt on him, right? I was there in Vegas to see the moment, right? And all that was cool, but it didn't work. Yes, people were chanting yeet. People were buying the merch from a business standpoint. Yes, when people bought merch, people were eating, but then the bell has to ring. And him as a singles guy, just not it. It's not it, right? And then Jimmy went on to say as well in this, a lot of things have happened, right? For Jay. He lost his world title. He didn't win, in the last time is now tournament, right? It's been a downfall for him, right? And if you notice, Jay, granted, he didn't like make this reaction, but there's a point that people were suggesting that, hey, it's quite possible that Jey Uso could turn on Jimmy Uso, right? It's possible, right? A heel turn, which I think, no, honestly, just keep them a tag team. And look, the Usos versus the New Day in 2025, why not? Why not? Revive the rivalry. Why the fuck not? Right? And also, while we're at it, look, AJ and Dragon Lee versus the Usos. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that down the road. But yeah, it's cool to see the Usos reunited once again. So that should be cool to see. I believe the 8-time tag team champion. So there's that also. From there, we saw Stephanie Vaquer appeared in the ring. She appeared there. She was talking to Jackie Redmond, right? And she said that she was the best. She says she was the best wrestler on the roster, and she was open to face anyone, right? And then Nikki Bella says she wanted a rematch. So she comes out, right? It's like, yo, what are we doing? Like, yo, you had your shot. You lost at Survivor Series. You lost. What are we doing? Right? So she shows up, and then she gets taken out by Raquel Rodriguez. Takes her out, right? Then she gets in the ring, and she confronts Stephanie Vaquer, saying that she wants next, right? And we find out after this, right? We see, in the Judgment Day clubhouse, Liv Morgan wasn't, at first she was kind of, a little confused about this, right? I was kind of confused too, because if you remember last week, right, when Raw ended, Liv Morgan lifted up the hands of both Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez as those two women were holding the women's tag team titles, right? And now we have Raquel Rodriguez wanting to challenge Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who don't feel like she is worthy of it, or she's just, maybe you just don't want to see it. It is what it is. I just think it's a situation where, we got to throw Stephanie Vaquer some bodies to beat. I had this whole thing. Oh, look at the height and the power of Raquel versus the speed and the ring work of Stephanie Vaquer, right? They might go that route with this match, right? To be fair, I don't even think it's gonna be like a rivalry. This will probably be like a one and done when it is made official, right? But Liv Morgan was kind of like, disappointed about it, right? At first. And then when Raquel shows up, it's like Liv was saying, oh, I thought, you know, you would talk to me about this or something like that. And Raquel was like, why would I talk to you about this? Right. But then Liv was like happy about it. Oh, good for you, whatever. And now it looks like it's going to be Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez being the tag team in the Judgment Day challenging for the women's tag titles. Maybe there's some dissension here, right? We'll wait and see. And it's funny because Dom and Finn are like, oh, I'm just so happy to see everybody getting along now. So we'll see where this goes. right? But I was still kind of confused because last week it looked like it was to be Liv Morgan challenging for the women's title, right? But it is what it is. This company at times is fucking confusing. From there, we saw Ivy Nile cut a promo backstage saying that she will destroy Maxine Dupree next week and win the women's Intercontinental title. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I heard all this shit, and the one thing that got to my mind as I heard Ivy Nile speak on the microphone is
exactly no pop.
I just don't care. I like seriously. Do you really think Ivy Nile's beating Maxine Dupree next week? I'll wait. But speaking of Maxine Dupree, I will say this. I am enjoying these videos of her training, sparring in the Heart Dungeon, right? Or whatever in the ring that Natty has in her house, it looks like. And she's basically making everyone submit. And then it was down to Natalia and Ivy and Maxine Dupree, where eventually Maxine Dupree makes Natalia submit to the ankle lock. And then it ends with her saying again. Now, WWE, you got to continue this. You cannot have Maxine Dupree show up as her old self when she returns next week. No, she has to embrace this new persona, this new person that she is. And hell, if I'll be honest, seeing all this, it makes me want to see them do a Raw Underground match with Maxine Dupree defending her Intercontinental Championship. I'm fine with that. Just the visual of it, right? But we'll see how that goes. But look, I have been enjoying these videos of seeing Maxine Dupree training, putting in the work. So that's cool to see. From there, we saw Roxanne Perez versus Lara Valkyria. You had Liv Morgan in the corner of Roxanne Perez, and you had Bayley in the corner of Lara Valkyria. Overall, I thought this match was okay. Like, I've seen them wrestle before NXT. They've had better matches on NXT, right? That being said, when this was all said and done, Roxanne Perez did pick up the win, right? So there was that too. And also in the crowd, we saw Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka, who we all know is challenging Bayley at Saturday night's main event. So she was there to observe. And even though Bayley didn't have a match, like, you're observing Bayley just walking around the ring in the corner of someone who's having a match, right? But it's fine, right? From there, we got the main event. We had Logan Paul and LA Knight going at it. And of course, guys, and look, I'm seeing that cage match got this match at a what's it called? At a 5.89. A 5 point out of 10. These folks don't know talent when they see it, let me tell you. That being said, I thought the match as a whole, look, I already knew the Maverick was going to win. It was like, come on. You really think LA Knight's going to beat Low? Come on. I know it happened at SummerSlam a couple years ago, but that's the past, man. This is now, 2025, right? And the match, and as you expect, right? As you expect, Logan Paul did get the win, right? He hit the frog splash for the 1, 2, 3, and then they proceed to beat up on LA Knight. That being Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. There's a moment there where they're, LA Knight being escorted, right, by security, what have you, being checked by medical because he couldn't move, right? And then Braun cuts this promo after the match. I thought Raw was over. Like, but no, Raw continued because Braun Breaker cut this promo. And Breaker declared that he will take everything from CM Punk on January 5th. As that happened, and including his wife, by the way. I know a lot of you, and I've seen people say, oh, you think they'll talk about Larry? No, I don't think they'll go that far, right? But hey, never say never, right? But I don't think they'll go that far. But as all this is happening, right, again, He's talking about he's going to beat CM Punk, how CM Punk at one time was one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet who put on a pair of boots, but he wants the old CM Punk, not this new CM Punk who is straight edge but looks like a crackhead, right? He wants the old CM Punk. I go back to what I'm saying. CM Punk is going to eventually respond on the microphone to Braun Breaker. And what people should be intrigued is, how does Braun Breaker respond to that? And all of it is happening. We see LA Knight getting back up, right, on his feet. And Logan Paul and Bronson Reed, they go to the back and they beat up LA Knight a little more. And then Reed hit the tsunami from a wall onto the roof of a car onto LA Knight. And then you hear Adam Pearce, we need a medic. Give me a medic. Give me a medic to cut off the show. I guarantee you off the air, he's like, I need a drink. But that's how we ended Raw. Again, Raw overall was just not it. It was not it. Like, it was all right for the most part. I know people are under this idea that LA Knight, they're burying him. Like, to my understanding, they're writing him off. To my understanding, too, he's going to be a big part of 2026. I'll believe it when I see it. You know? Rest in peace, LA Knight. Howdy. What's going on, brother? Hope all's well with you. But again, Raw was basically, matches that we've seen before, right? You've seen them once, you've seen them so many times, okay? And obviously, Gunther's promo on Cena. And now, with that being said, guys, again, and by the way, Epic is still missing, by the way. Epic is still missing. I don't know. Have you seen Epic? Have you seen him? Please ask him where he was. 2 weeks in a row, Epic has been missing from Raw, right? But with that being said, folks, let's get into now the preview for Saturday night's main event. It goes down this Saturday, fly from Washington, D.C. And look, this is going to be the final match of John Cena's career. After this, for John Cena, it is over. What will he do? How will he what will he do on his spare time? Will John Cena get into, I don't know, activities? Will he get into archery, or will he get into pottery? Will he start reading books? Who the hell knows, man? Who the hell knows? But as of this moment, they only have 3 odds. So bet online. I've said this already on Monday on Steve's Kitchen, so I'm not going to repeat the betting odds for you folks. So there's that. Good show live. Thanks to the crowd. After the show, the Uso hit Logan with the 3D through the table, which was neat. Wow. Gamer John, maybe. You never know. Can you imagine John Cena playing I don't know, fucking Destiny, or I don't know, I don't fucking know. What do the kids play today? What do these kids play today? I don't know, Fortnite, right? Or Minecraft. I don't fucking know. What do these kids play today? I have no clue. Right? Can you imagine that? Or John Cena opening a Kick account and live streaming his everyday life, right? Walking around and shit. I'm just saying. It's intriguing to see what Cena's going to do. But that being said, it goes live this Saturday. Live on Peacock. Again, I'll be honest, if there was ever a show to still do on NBC, this would have been it. I know for a lot of people, this idea that, it should have been in Boston, and I agree. I think it's kind of weird that we're doing this now at a time when, it's the holiday season, right? So imagine asking someone to fork over money, and these tickets as it is are expensive, okay? Hey, we know that you're in the middle of the holiday season right now. I know a lot of you guys are trying to buy gifts for your loved ones, whatever the case may be, right? But we would love it if you actually say fuck all that and buy a ticket to come to this show at Washington, D.C., where the president of the United States may or may not show up. May or may not show up. It's possible. It's very possible. Would it bother me? No. Would it offend me? No. But the IWC, oh, I'm triggered. Oh my God. That's how they are. That being said, traffic is horrific in DC too. So I've heard. But that being said, if it was up to me, I probably would have had his retirement match be at WrestleMania. The big send-off, right? The whole 9 yards. But that's just me, of course, right? But that being said, let's get into this preview. Again, it's only 4 matches right now. Who's to say that by the time we get to Saturday, they might add another match? Who really knows, right? Who the fuck knows? We should see. Would Trump help Cena or Gunther? He's going to help America. So there you go. But I'm sure he'll love Gunther. I'm sure him and Gunther will get along very well. But that being said, let's get into this preview, okay? 4 matches. Who to say they add another match or two? We kick things off here with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending their tag team championships against NXT's Javon Evans, who won the Iron Survivor this past Saturday. And joining him is the TNA X Division champion from TNA, Leon Slater. So remember, Cena's request is he wants NXT talent to be featured on the show against main roster talent to give back, basically, right? And it's funny because I saw this on Twitter. And I'm gonna show you. I wish I had the picture up here on StreamYard here, but that's on me. It is what it is. But I'll show you what this picture said. And I thought it was fucking hilarious here. This was the picture that I saw on Twitter today. Because again, it's that match, right? This is what they wrote on Twitter. We're seeing the most shameless case of contract tampering ever. They took him off of a WX booking to put Leon on Saturday night's main event, and he's not even signed to them. I feel bad for TNA if they weren't TNA. Okay, so you want Leon Slater to say, hey, you know what? Fuck this opportunity of wrestling on a major platform, right? On Peacock, and arguably in front of the biggest crowd he'll ever wrestle for, as of now, right? Saturday night's main event, Washington, D.C. It's Cena's farewell, match in the main event, and he's on he's in the undercard. And you want to say, fuck that, let me go work some indie show in Germany. What are we doing? That being said, I think people forget that WXW used to be on the WWE Network. They're that German indie promotion. Gunther came out of there, Ludwig Kaiser. A lot of folks wrestled there before. So, yeah. Good for Leon. Like, it's crazy to think, like, yo, we're putting on this show a TNA signed talent to wrestle on the show. That's crazy, right? And I think for me, this will be the match that will probably steal the show. This will be that match where you're going to see a lot of crazy flips and dives. The moment that Leon is tagged into the match, and so is AJ. And you see them, you see them there, right? About to lock up, right? And again, because you remember, at Slammiversary, AJ showed up and he put over Leon Slater. So to see them in some capacity go at it in the ring is going to be cool to see. This match will slap. That being said, though, I will go with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to retain their tag team titles. But Javon Evans and Leon Slater will put on a fight. And remember, remember for Javon Evans, he's the Iron Survivor winner. He's gonna get a shot at New Year's Evil against Obafemi. So we'll see how that goes. From there, we go on to Bailey versus Sol Ruka. This should be also a good match for the most part. You can clearly tell WWE has big plans for Sol Ruka, right? Look at her; she's beautiful, right? She can work in the ring, right? And I just want to see Bailey how if she's able to kick out of the Soul Snatcher, right? Should be a good match. Here's Bailey, who at one time was a big part of NXT, right? Going up against the current talent on NXT. Should be a good match for the most part, but I think in this one, here's the thing: you got to give an NXT winner a win here. I can see them giving Sol Ruka the win. I can see it happening, but we'll see. From there, we go to Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes. Obafemi, who just recaptured the NXT Championship at Deadline against Ricky Saints, as he go up against Cody Rhodes. I know a lot of people were expecting Cody versus Ricky Saints, and not so fast. Should be a good match. I think here we might see some fuckery here where Drew McIntyre might get involved and it might cause a disqualification. But damn, for Obafemi, right? His first of match sorta on the main roster, you're wrestling Cody Rhodes. It's going to be a good match. But with that being said, there might be some fucked finish, might be a disqualification, right? Or that might happen and Drew McIntyre might get involved and we'll continue the Drew and Cody story, right? And then from there, we go on to the main event. We have John Cena in his final match of his career going one-on-one against the Ring General, Gunther. Gunther, who wants John Cena to give up in their match. He vows to make Cena give up. Gunther, who is the winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament, to get this opportunity. And look, I'm sure for Cena, if it was up to him, he would do the right thing and put over the young guy on the way out. In this case, Gunther. But I'll be honest with you, it would suck to have Cena end his career in a loss. Because it's Cena. Look, it's John Cena. You're calling this show his final match. And again, I know in wrestling, you put someone over on the way out. You leave the place better than you found it, right? I get all that. Look, I really want to see Cena win. They might give it to Gunther, but I'm gonna go with John Cena. You gotta have Cena win here. You can't have him lose on his farewell. You just can't. It just cannot happen. And again, Gunther will be fine. Like Gunther already lost to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. He tapped out to Jey Uso. Remember? He lost to Cody Rhodes in Saudi Arabia, right? He lost to CM Punk. He will be fine. Like this loss does not hurt him at all. And when it's all said and done. So I'm going to go with John Cena to win here. And then after that, they'll probably put him in the Hall of Fame. They'll announce that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. I know that Cena signed a new contract to be an ambassador for WWE. So we'll see how all this plays out, but I'm going with John Cena to have everyone go home happy, right? And conclude this retirement farewell tour that has been a mixed bag for a lot of people. So that's my thoughts. All right. That's going to be it for me. Much love to all of you. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back this Thursday for another edition of Something About Dynamite, where I will talk about AEW Dynamite, my thoughts, and all that fun stuff. If you've not checked out Steve's Kitchen, go give it a watch when you get a chance. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. Thank y'all for tuning in. Follow the Around the Point Network over at 18 Point Network. That being said, guys, I'm Steve, and I'm out. Peace.